Hello and welcome peeps to another status report highlight, this time for the week of the 24th of April 2015. And as always, we're going to kick things off with producer Brian Hicks, and a quick reminder of what DayZ's early access is and what development means during this time. Hicks would like us to remember that the DayZ early access will have people see more things break, more bugs, and that being part of the early access program means that we get to see the real ups and downs of game development. Moving past that, many people have asked about the audio side of the Infusion engine. Obviously fairly early on into its early access program, we realised that the existing audio technology inherited by the RV engine wasn't going to suit the needs of the project. Problematic and annoying audio bugs began to reveal themselves, and resolving those within the legacy technology clearly demonstrated it would be a time lost. Thus, work began on a new audio module to be paired with the in-development Infusion engine. As with any core engine work, this is not a short-form task. Obviously, the goal for initial deployment is featured parity with the legacy audio technology. It is my personal hope that once this is achieved, we can look to expand the options for enhancing the audio experience in Chernarus, as Hicks firmly believes audio in DayZ is just as critical as any core technology and part of the immersion into the world. Hicks' personal holy grail throughout the development of DayZ has and will remain the server-side performance. Much of what folks attribute to lag or desync can be traced back to poor server-side performance, 85% of which comes from the performance-heavy use of the SQF engine script for many gameplay systems. Mentioned in prior status reports, NScript, the name of the Infusion's engine scripting language, is leaps and bounds ahead of the legacy SQF in terms of performance. This, the portion of the performance budget currently consumed by SQF usage, is the largest roadblock between 50-player servers and 100-plus player servers. Moving the title completely away from legacy engine scripting tech and onto the new engine scripting language for Infusion is by no means a small task, and will be an ongoing goal for the team, and in Hicks' opinion, 100% required for DayZ to reach 1.0. Lastly from Hicks, a quick little note of the last thing he says in this status report. You can and should be able to play DayZ however you want. Be warned however, every choice, every playstyle should and will have its own cost. There is much more to Hicks' section of the status report this week, but I've highlighted the most interesting parts for you guys here, so let's move on to Associate Art Director Chris Torchia. It's been a while since I've written, so I thought I'd give you a short update. From my perspective, the pace of art creation has really picked up in recent weeks, and below is a brief overview of some highlights. We're working on 3 vehicles currently, but I want to set expectations since renders have already been publicly shown for 2 of them. The extreme level of detail we are placing into the vehicles means they will each take a very significant amount of time to finish. I'm talking a couple of months each, and that's before the animations even touch it. Just because we've posted a render of the high poly exterior doesn't mean their release is imminent. It's a studio first that we're modelling not only a high detail interior instrument panel, but also an engine bay, which players will have to interact with. We hope you'll agree the added time is worth it in the end. Moving on to characters, we've finished 3 new zombie models recently, and we hope to get those into Chernarus and scaring the pants off you by our next stable release. Work continues on even more zombie types, including new female versions. To add more visual variety to the game, Gaspo, the very talented artist who works on zombie bodies and character heads, will soon be finishing up with the new female zombie templates, and will move back to creating characters' heads for greater variety. New character clothing is also in progress, with a new hunting uniform being added, medical scrubs, and a Marpat uniform, as a nod to the DayZ/Arma 2 lore is in progress. Now let's move on to weapons. We've finished or have work in progress a fairly large number of new weapons or weapon attachments recently. Some may have seen pictures of the Mauser C96 Red 9, Winchester 70, VSS, SVD, IZH-18, and the UMP-45 added to the DayZ Trello, but not all of them will be immediately added to the game. Some of them still need animations and sounds to be made, and we also would like to wait until our loot spawning central economy system is working as intended before we add the venerable SVD. Also new is an optic for the AK platform called the Kashtan C1, which is something like an ACOG for an AK side mount. Last but not least, we have made a hunting scope, which will be able to be used on a great number of rifles than just the Mosin, and speaking of which, the days of slap the LRS on a Mosin are numbered. Oh. And finally for this week's status report, environment. We have finished a new school building and have populated it with school-related items in the classrooms. The map team will be able to begin placing them in Cherno soon, after their current tasks, which we hope will serve both as an interesting new location to explore, but also as a landmark for orientation. We've also created a new village store, some roadblock objects which might have been placed on major roadways during an evacuation, and we're continuing work on new building interiors. So that's all for this week's status report highlight for the 22nd of April, 2015. As always, I would recommend you read the status reports in full for yourselves for the most amount of information that they hold. All links will be in the description, as well as for DayZ TV for all your latest DayZ news and information. And I'll see you peeps next time.